don't want to buy this other big piece of equipment. All I want to have to do is heat press something. What I really like about your guys' sample pack here is you're actually telling us how to apply it and the temperature. Cotton 50-50 blends, they can take that higher heat. A lot of your tri-blends need to be done at a lower temperature in the lower 300s, and a lot of your polyesters want even lower than that. Hey guys, we're here at 613 Originals with Steph. How's it going, Steph?
Good, how are you?
Good. You guys have one of the coolest booths here at the trade show.
Thanks.
This is not a food truck, yet we get burritos here. So 613 Originals, tell us a little bit about the company and what all you guys do.
Yeah, so we manufacture screen print and direct film transfers. We have other goodies coming down the pipeline so that we're excited to share very soon. And we're based out of Mahwah, New Jersey. So if you need any heat transfers, we're your buddies.
Well, you don't have to be in New Jersey. You could be anywhere in the
Literally
US.
anybody.
So, for those who don't know, plastisol transfers have been around for decades.
Yes.
And they allow you to print, a design wherever you want on a garment, or really a lot of different fabrics when you need to. So it's that application when and where that makes it so versatile. And transfers have become more popular than ever because of the evolution of DTF. And now shops are back to, I don't want to buy this other big piece of equipment. All I want to have to do is heat press something because it has the most minimal learning curve, and the heat press will last longer than just about any other piece of equipment in a shop.
Yeah, and the footprint is super small. So
learning curve, footprint.
Yeah.
A lot of shops will ask me, if you could start today your business, what would you buy? I would buy a heat press, and I'd outsource 100% everything else.
Totally agree.
And just outsource the transfer. So 613 has a really cool transfer pack here. So let's look at some of the different types of heat applied transfers we have. And we'll start with puff. So puff, 3-dimensional print.
Yep.
Something to know about puff, guys, you can't get as much detail as some of your more traditional plastisol transfers because that puff will grow and the gaps will fill in a little bit if you're not careful. So you need a little bit more negative space in between them to do it. Very popular product, and we can apply it at 350 degrees. Works best on cotton. So a lot of these, what I really like about your guys' sample pack here is you're actually telling us how to apply it and the temperature. For those who don't realize, cotton 50-50 blends, they can take that higher heat. A lot of your tri-blends need to be done at a lower temperature in the lower 300s, and a lot of your polyesters want even lower than that to prevent leaving a box on the shirt.
Yeah.
So puff, very popular, I have to assume.
So popular. While we've been at the show, we've actually had like a line that went down the entire hallway here just because we were pressing puff and people were walking down, saw the puff, and they just hopped online right away.
Does the puff lighten up as you print it? Because I've seen that sometimes, this pink may become a little bit lighter of a shade after it's puffed, or is it pretty much exactly the same?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, cool. I've never been able to do that. It always makes it lighter. Original full color. So, just like direct screen printing, you can use cyan, yellow, magenta, and black to create a full color image.
Yes.
With plastisol transfers, you can do the same thing. It's much more difficult for 613 to print these, but they still, even with DTF growing and coming about, this is a better, larger run solution, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. So usually when people come to us and they're like, hey, I want to do DTF, but I'm trying to order like 100 sheets, we usually point them in the direction of our original full color, just because you get the screen print feel, you get full color, all the detail, and it's actually more cost effective for bigger projects where like you're just trying to get a ton.
Yep.
And DTF isn't really cost effective in that way. It's great for small quantities.
It's just like, every decoration process, every type of transfer has a time and place. Don't think there's just one perfect solution. The quantity and the artwork is typically what determines what method to use. Nylon one color. So One thing I'm quickly realizing with these transfers on the sheets, some of them are powdered, some of them are not. We powder a transfer whenever we need to go to a lower temperature typically, and we also need better adhesion. Nylon can be a nightmare to print. So this nylon one color is essentially made for that specific type of material, correct?
Yes. So any like nylon bags, this is great for. We always recommend this one. It's more durable and it's great. It's like made specifically for that type of fabric.
Yep. So again, not only the artwork, the quantity, but the actual fabric that is being decorated will determine the transfer. Vintage is typically not going to be powdered. Powder will allow you to go at a lower temperature and it will allow you to have better adhesion. Now, the drawback of powder is typically it makes it a little bit stiffer of a print versus not having it powdered. So is that kind of the logic here with the vintage, is it's going to have a really soft hand?
Yes. So it's the perfect thing for when you want that kind of like distressed, like really, really soft, old kind of lived in style. Yep. This is great for that. Yeah, and I don't pretend to know how 613 does it, but just like direct screen printing, you have a lot of different types of bases. And you're often going to use a different type of base for a lower temp or a softer type of ink, just based on the base that was used to mix that color. Your classic 2 color here, again, 350 to 375, no powder. Gonna have probably a little bit softer of a hand than some of the powdered ones. But again, because it's not powdered, we need to be applying it at a higher temperature to make sure that it's gonna be on there forever. Varsity 1 color, so this is probably more of our performance wear, is that correct? Like polyester. So again, this is our actual like best, like our most popular formula, because one of our deals that we always run is our 15-cent Varsity Program, or single image Varsity Program, where you can get 100 transfers for $40. So it's a great entry point where people are like, hey, like I have this job and I like really want to try to like use heat transfers. That's kind of like the first thing they'll try. And then they start kind of exploring, you know, like puff, vintage, classic, all of the other ones.
What I like to think of when I see a transfer like this, it's kind of our universal foolproof.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden I'm going onto cotton, and then I can drop it all the way down for the poly. You can do some polyester, absolutely, but all your those tri-blends and so forth that need to be applied at that 325 degree mark. You're not going to be leaving a box on a tri-blend, but if you're at 375 degrees, you might. And that's why this is like a foolproof transfer you should definitely look at. Non-woven, tell us a little bit about, 270 degrees. Now we're going even lower temperature. Typically that means you're also using a different type of paper because some paper doesn't want to release at certain temperatures, but this has got to be really popular for a lot of the performance wear, is it?
This is great for like bags and those kind of things. For polypropylene, there we go, yeah. The polypropylene bags. So that's this is like the go-to for that. Okay,
again, a much lower temperature. Stretch 1 color, tell us a little bit about this.
This is great for like performance. So like when you're like wearing a jersey or something, it's great because it really like stretches. This is go-to for people that are like, hey, I have a design, I need it to stretch. We're like, perfect, this is your formula.
For those screen printers out there, and again, with like these transfers, you can add additives to your inks for different effects. There's puff additives, there's stretch additives, and it gives you that extra durability that you often need for like those jerseys and so forth. Original blocker, how does this one work?
So it's our original formula with a blocker backing. So this is great for, like sublimated garments. So it prevents that dye that may seep, that dye migration that may happen. And it's just for those specific garments where you're like, oh, like this might happen. We always recommend going with this.
Yep, so if you're doing some type of camo or sublimation dye, very important.
And also, on the sample pack, we have a little square that says no blocker, and then one with blockers, so that you could actually see and compare and see the dye migration difference and how much it blocks.
Yeah, and I really like your application information here. Makes it so easy to give this, a quick print and see for yourself how it's going to work and do it. Multi-dimensional puff. So I'm going to take no, I'm not even going to guess. What exactly does that mean?
So one color puffs and one color is a flat color. So you get to choose two. And it basically creates this really cool effect where the puff rises and then there's this flat color. You could have it around the puff. So it really like creates this like cool risen.
Two-dimensional look. And that's really hard, guys. If you don't know, I mean, to have certain parts of the ink actually puff, really difficult to do because, yeah.
But our puff additive needs to like activate, but the flat color stays flat.
It's chemistry for those who don't realize.
Exactly.
I mean, and respect the chemistry. If it says applied at this time, temperature, and pressure, do it that way. Otherwise, you're not going to get the ideal effect that it should be doing. Neon 2 color. So neon, a little bit more difficult to sometimes hold that opacity, I assume. So you guys, do you back it with a white?
You know? Yes, we do.
I told you, I know a little bit about transfers. So yeah, you can see the 2 color. It's back to the white. It's going to make it real opaque and vibrant. And you know, fluorescence and neons, it's definitely a little bit harder to do. Having that backer, just like if you were to direct screen print, having that underbase is going to allow that color to really pop.
Yeah.
Glow in the dark, abbreviated as GID. So glow in the dark, this looks like, is this just one color or was white underbase applied underneath it? Do you know?
So this is our white glow in the dark. So this is the actual color, and then so it applies white, and then when it charges up, when the lights go out, it's green.
Something she said there that's really important, charging the design.
Yeah.
So you want to be under actual light to charge it, and then actually when you're in the dark, you actually see it
That's
glowing.
when the glow happens.
Yep. So that's a wide range of what we would call plastisol transfers. But then 613 also offers the newest and latest type of transfer, which is direct to film, abbreviated as DTF.
Yep.
That is a digitally printed transfer directly onto film. And one advantage is you can see through the clear film, makes placing it a little bit easier. The other thing though, because it's a digital process, it's more so for the lower run, correct?
Yeah, we always recommend some of the smaller runs for that. Usually when you bump up to a higher quantity, we always recommend, going to original, just because you get that full color effect still, you get that detail. But yeah, DTF is great because it has great, easy application. You get that detail, full color, fine lines, it's great.
And something else she just mentioned there, detail. When you have a plastisol transfer, you have to, lay down a little bit more ink, and when that ink is pressed, it'll expand a little bit. So you need a little bit more negative space to keep it all exactly the way you want. DTF has the advantage is it's a little bit less ink, and it can hold a little bit finer detail, which is really cool.
Yes.
So guys, 613 Originals, if you need plastisol, DTF, or really just about any other type of transfer, they can go to 613originals.com, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And if you have any questions on your projects, our support team is fantastic. You can reach out to us over DM at 613 Originals, and we're happy to help you with anything you're looking for.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Steph.
Yeah, great to
Check out
see you.
613 Originals.